What's going on, everybody, for another Thursday edition of Interest the Lab podcast? The CFP have dropped another ranking. We live react and share our discussion once again on what could have been better or what are some things that will be eye popping for this college football season as we head to the stretch. We also got some NFL games to look over. We're going to be talking about some of the trades we've seen with the Dallas Cowboys paying off on Monday night and much, much more. So buckle up. It's time to enter the lab. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Enters the Lab podcast. It is your boy DT Sensei. We got the crew up here tonight. As before we kick off the Bills and the Texans Thursday night game live on Amazon Prime, share some time with us as we cover the NFL and college football slate as we have seen so far. We got Lady E, we got J Big, and we got the OGC Henry. Happy Thursday to y'all. Before a great Thanksgiving next week. So we're going to be eating good next week, most definitely. So y'all not going to see us. Just go ahead and put it out there now. Y'all not going to see none of us. You might see Henry if they lose on Thursday, though. But I ain't going to put that atmosphere right now.
Please, no. We need to get that. We need to get right now.
What was up with y'all tonight, man?
I am good. I am good. It's Thursday. We here. We are family.
The weekend again.
Well, definitely Thursday. It is a Thursday. But also on Tuesday, we got to saw the second rankings released by the College Football Playoff Committee. And as you can see, we had some games that went down to the wire and had some huge impact along the way. Last weekend, we saw Oklahoma went into Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and defeat the Alabama Crimson Tide 23-21. We seen the Texas Longhorns get dehorned as they head to over the hedges to take on Georgia and lost by what was like 20 points? I mean, good gracious, that was a beating.
It was like 20-25.
Yeah.
And also looking around the other slates, as well as the college football season is starting to heat up because we're in the month of November in which these games are starting to matter. So, going to ask around you guys the college football ranking, and eventually I will try to put this up. Was there anything up there that y'all see that you're like, okay, I agree with, or I don't like this decision, why they kind of still going this route, or are you guys cool what you see so far with the college football rankings?
Well, one of the things that a lot of people are saying, I mean, it doesn't have to really technically deal with the college rankings, but it does affect the college rankings, is some of these schools, which will remain nameless, but they do wear orange, are basically upset because they want to get in, but they're saying with their scheduling of Ohio State and their loss to Ohio State, they are being punished for that. And we kind of can see that with some of the rankings now, i.e. with Texas A&M. They're only, I guess you could say, high conference win or non-conference win is going to be against Notre Dame. But then when you look at some other ones, I know some of the orange people were saying that BYU got blown out by Texas Tech, but they're still being rewarded. Well, BYU is not even in the rankings right now. It's Texas Tech. So when we're looking at different things like that, and we're having the conversation, can the SEC have 5 teams, or how is the committee ranking some of these loss? Like Texas Tech lost to Arizona State, then they came back and blew out BYU. But if you look at when the rankings happened, that loss actually happened before our November rankings. So they got punished, but they didn't get punished. they kind of gave them a slight because they were missing their quarterback. So when we're looking at that, I think that the committee is kind of nitpicking where they want to apply the rules. I don't know if it's where it's coming down to like head to head, if they're looking at it because some way, somehow, they're making a way for Miami to even possibly get in there, even without them having to go to the ACC championship. So we have questions when it really actually comes down to. They made a big deal about Miami versus Notre Dame when it came down to the head-to-head this past Tuesday, but that's just my thing about it. How are we kind of holding up when we're looking at teams like Texas A&M who really only played Notre Dame, but then how are we comparing that to a Texas Tech who do have a loss to Arizona State, but then turn around and had a blowout win against BYU?
That's a lot. That's a lot there, Lady E. But I tell you what, you know what? I just feel like it's gonna handle itself. When I look at, you know what I'm saying, someone like, Texas State, it's the whole body of work. Not even just Texas State, it's the whole body of work. And they really can't control who to play. All they can do is show up and play. And if they're not the games from Detroit, they play in this. Let's talk about what they do. SEC. They're undefeated. You gotta give them, their respect. They still, they play for us, but they beat them, and then we'll talk about the outcome there. But at this point, you gotta give them their respect. You have multiple chances to show your worth. You have the game against Ohio State. You play in a great conference, and it seems like right now I'm hearing a lot of folks from Texas sounding like basically they kind of regretting this move to this SEC. They didn't think they thought it was sweet. I don't know what they thought was going to happen, but they thought it was sweet, and they kind of like, oh man, we shouldn't, we shouldn't even schedule any heavyweights on the non-conference slate because the conference is just too tough. And I find that funny. But with all that being said, I think it's definitely going to handle itself. As far as the Miami Notre Dame controversy, if you will, or point of contention, I do feel like Miami is getting some points for beating Notre Dame, but I do feel like Notre Dame's body of work is better than Miami. Miami does have 2 bad losses. When you look at Notre Dame, yes, they did beat them week 1, a freshman quarterback, but Notre Dame since I think has gotten better. I don't know if Miami has gotten better. They possibly have gotten better. I mean, we'll talk about week 1 here. But with that being said, Notre Dame's 2 losses are against 2 teams that are currently in the field, or I'm sorry, one in the field and one right outside the field. While we're talking about the 2 losses from Miami are teams that are not even in consideration. So I think they can work their way in. And again, we talked last week about the possibilities of getting in without going through a conference championship. Can the ACC get 2 teams in? I don't think so, but we'll see how it works out. And if it comes down to them in Miami, to Miami and Notre Dame, I think they'll have a conversation there. But again, ultimately, the team is going to catch the most smoke is that group of 5 team. They're going to catch all the smoke. They're going to keep somebody home. Somebody who thinks that they should be there is not going to be there because of that group of 5 team, and they're going to catch all the smoke.
I just think, man, like when you jump from a 4 to a 12-team playoff, I mean, this is what you get, man. Like, you're going to get muddy waters. I mean, this is the same thing happened last year around the same time. You just get the more teams you let in, like the more, things is going to happen. Like you could be, because you're going to have a lot of overlaps in these teams in the top 15 that had played each other or that, have played common opponents. And I mean, this is what they signed up for. So, like in relation to Texas, like they're complaining, but you didn't win the games you were supposed to win. I could make the argument that you could have lost more games. And I mean, that you're not even really playing a hard SEC schedule yet. I could easily make that argument because they're really not. So
they gave that schedule to them to let them win, and they still couldn't do it.
They still can't win. And so, like I said, like we also, everybody that's a college football fan or a player or a coach at these schools, you signed up for this system. And so you just can't. I mean, once you get to that 3 loss, that the 3 losses, I mean, like you're putting your fate in the hands of the committee, and you got to kind of live with whatever they come out with. But Texas, I mean, they got a chance. I mean, like I think they got a FCS game this week, and then they got to play Texas A&M the very last week of the season, who's ranked third in the country right now.
No,
So,
they play Arkansas. Texas play Arkansas.
oh,
They got Arkansas, then Texas A&M.
so I mean, if they could get by Arkansas and you beat Texas A&M, I mean, who knows what happens? I mean, like maybe a Bama loses to Auburn or something, or maybe I mean, OU loses or something like, or I mean, Oregon's playing USC, maybe they lose. Like, I mean, there's so many different things that can happen with 2 more weeks to go. But if you have 3 losses like Alabama did last year, and like Texas does this year, and you find yourself out the playoffs, you ain't got no one. You have no one to blame but yourself.
And to speak on that, I just want to sit over here and put Texas because Texas has made they're more whinier than Tennessee. Literally, I thought Tennessee was bad. They're more whinier than Tennessee. And the issue with Texas that they have is you come over here to the SEC with a Big 12 mindset. We like ask Texas A&M and ask Mizzou when they first got to the SEC. They still haven't won an SEC championship yet since coming into the SEC. So when we're looking at this situation, y'all should have never lost to Florida. You lost to Florida. You got beat by Florida. Then you barely got away with it in Kentucky. And trust me, Jay Mick, me and you know as a Georgia fan, it ain't easy to play in Kentucky, especially at night. Then you turn around and you let Mississippi State control the whole entire game, and it took you to overtime just to win. Those are 3 wins before you even got a chance to meet Georgia. So when we're thinking about this, and I don't even know what made them think that they was going to beat Georgia at home. Like, I don't know what made them thought that. But at the end of the day, you have those games that are holding against you. Yes, Miami may have 2 games with Louisville and SMU that's holding them back a little bit as well because of who they lost to. But then when you're comparing the resume to a lot of people, I mean, I'm gonna point out Ole Miss. Ole Miss has a loss to Georgia. Oregon has a loss to Indiana. Nebraska, not Nebraska, but Notre Dame, Texas A&M is their only loss, or who else did they lose to? I think they got
Miami.
Miami. Okay, they lost to Miami. So then you got Alabama, who just got their first loss to Oklahoma. But then their best win, if you put it on paper, will be against Georgia. Like it's just how it is. I mean, Vandy probably could sneak up in there. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So this is how I feel right now with the CFP. And you guys saw my text in there. I feel like, to me, not only is the committee kind of up and down, but I think overall with the system itself, by going to 12 teams, they're going to have its lumps. And you're looking at it right now, you see these teams like a Notre Dame who, although they have been on a hot streak after they lost their first 2 games against Miami and against Texas A&M, they have won on a hot streak. But in terms of the opponent, you only play who's on your schedule, but they have really outside have not really had that big impressive win. Maybe a USC who has surprisingly gotten the rankings in the top 15, but we're still seeing that USC team with still some flaws and things like that, and they have a big matchup coming up we will discuss in a few minutes. But I also think about some of these teams, like that are in this week, and we're talking about these matchups. This is the playoff start here. These next couple of games right here, this is where the playoffs start automatically. I mean, you got Oregon, who did lose to Indiana, but they still don't have that key victory on their resume. So they got to get in the next couple of weeks in order to at least get in. Because I mean, if Ohio State stays undefeated, they'll be Ohio State and Indiana. Unless, Michigan causes some chaos and beats Ohio State, then you can get in a conversation. Maybe it's an Oregon-Indiana matchup or some shape or form. But I think some of these teams, like, it's kind of do or die these next couple of weeks. This is where the playoffs start. So I at least see this as a win for some people when it comes to college football, because now the intensity level is going to rise for some of these teams. It's going to be do or die to try to get in these playoff race. And then you look at, like, the Big Ten, SEC, they're trying to get all these teams in. And, there's a report out there talking about, the Big Ten is trying to push for even more teams. And I'm going to have to have to put a pause on that too, because now we're kind of taking that away from the sport. It was already some talks, with the 4 team. Now we're here at the 12 team. See Henry talking about we should just stay gone to 8. Like it's going to have a lot of these teams that honestly should not be in there. And like, for real talk, Texas should not be in the conversation, man. Texas should not be in the conversation. They have not looked like the team that everybody has expected this year, and I get it. You have a starting quarterback his first year playing, but also you have some of these games where you're winning by the TV of your team. You had to beat Mississippi State last second, Kentucky by the bare minimum. Then you do beat an Oklahoma team at a neutral site, but then in the 2 of the biggest games that you had on your schedule at Ohio State and at Georgia, you didn't finish, and they still have to play Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
I
won't say that they shouldn't be in the conversation. They shouldn't be very high in the conversation, or they shouldn't be out. Maybe they shouldn't be in the conversation this week, and maybe if they win, against Arkansas, and then they beat Texas A&M, and then we talk about them. But I do think when we expand it to 12, we got to keep it real. This tournament, this championship has been mythical to us for so many years because we've seen the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme, have to battle it out for this championship. We've opened it up to 12 teams now, man. Listen, man, some of them Hall of Fame bowls that used to be to come on, December the 30th that we just kind of just watch just to watch. That's part of the playoff now. Unfortunately, those teams, those 9-3, those 10-2 who ain't played nobody. Those really good teams, but those that we didn't really consider championship caliber are now part of this playoff, and we got to kind of wrap our heads around that. You know what I mean? It's been hard for me too. Like, I don't want to see any further expansion either, because again, there's going to come a time where there's going to be some 3-loss teams somehow, some way get involved. Now, the problem is going to be when we talk about a team like a Texas being added for a team out of the ACC, or a team or the Group of 5 team. Well, no, that's not going to happen right now, but that's going to be the conversation, because what's going to happen is, say 2-loss teams making it to the SEC, and I don't know how. I'm not privy. I'm not up on the schedules right now, but just say 2-loss teams in the SEC make the championship. Now Texas somehow beats Texas A&M. Okay, cool. Does the loss in that championship game, which gives that team, one of those championship caliber teams, a 3rd loss, does that now knock one of those teams out of the championship?
Well, it wouldn't be a 3rd loss, because Alabama only lost 1, and then if Texas A&M lose, it will be just 1 for them. So if both of them still go to the championship, they will both have 1 loss. It will only be the 2 loss.
So if Alabama lost to Auburn, say,
then Alabama will have a 2 loss. But I just don't see Alabama losing to Auburn.
In the conference, right?
Yeah, in the conference, but I mean, Bama's got 2 losses overall already, though.
Yeah, 2 losses overall because they lost to Florida State.
They lost their first game of the season.
But that's why I said I don't.
But
I just don't. For me, I just don't see Bama losing to Auburn. I'm sorry.
Auburn said last year.
We don't have to put that loss in. I'm just saying, to them to acquire that 3rd loss in that championship game, because now they're sitting that's why they upset, because they sitting at like 9 or 10, right? So
they dropped 6 spots, bro.
6 spots.
Well, they took that loss because of how they played, but more importantly, that Florida State loss is kind of hurting them too, because of where Florida State
mid. Florida State is on the same line as that SMU loss that Miami took. You know what I'm saying? That's a bad loss.
Yeah,
so you take that 3rd loss in that SEC championship game, they're not going to be happy if they get bounced, and they especially not going to be happy if they get bounced to a team like Texas, who they beat. So now the conversation is: do we add a 15, or do we add a 3-loss team like Texas, who lost to Alabama, or do we just stay with Bama? That's when it's going to get real interesting. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm waiting for.
Well, look, as long as they don't. But see, here's the thing. This is where Georgia Hey, Georgia fans, how y'all doing? This is where we don't want to be involved
Uh-oh.
because if A&M does lose,
and win the championship
that
game,
puts us in that SEC championship.
Oh, they try and get that extra bye week.
Okay. But y'all
Yeah,
only
we
got
don't.
one
Yeah,
loss,
we
though.
don't want that. We don't
Hey,
want
hey,
that.
see,
What you
Harry,
mean? What you mean? What
they
you
try to
mean?
get that extra
You
bye
see
week.
what I'm saying? They don't even want to win the championship no more. You see what I'm saying, man?
No,
But-
okay, no,
But
we
you know
got
what though?
pieces.
That's
We don't
that's
even
where
want
we
to
that's
at.
go
no
to
different than last year, though. I mean, like last year, we didn't want to go to the SEC championship game last year either. But I mean,
Oh,
we had
man.
that business.
Hey,
We
We had to go
did
there and
it.
win the damn thing.
We
And you
did
know
it.
what?
backdoor politics.
And you
Backdoor
know what?
politics.
This is where we at. And honestly, some people will see it or not. Some people don't want to play in the championship game.
I mean, we lost our QB, even though
Yeah.
we
We didn't
can't
play in the
stand him
championship
now.
game
But
Yeah,
no,
but the
y'all
thing is,
didn't.
so here's the thing. Like the committee even said it last year. Like, you know, if you go to your championship game, they're not going to hold it against you if you lose. Like that's what they said last year.
Yeah.
So I assume that they're gonna have that
They lying.
the same route this year as well. I assume.
They lying.
I can't promise you that.
That's part of the body of work. They lying, man.
I mean,
lying.
Man, I look at it as an extra incentive, depending on who's in the championship game, to probably make that last little push to convince them to
But
put
they're
them
not
in the
really-
playoffs. But we don't need convincing. Georgia don't need that convincing.
I mean, but the thing is, they're not really lying to you because what happened in the ACC championship game last year? Clemson played SMU and what, like SMU lost
To
and
the
they-
wire.
Yeah, to the wire, and they didn't get dropped. Like they still made it, even though they lost that game because they were right on the cusp. Like it was either them or Bama, and they chose SMU over Bama.
Oh,
So-
Bama. Yep. I remember
So,
that.
but they
But
didn't
I
let it
think
go.
wasn't SMU the 2-loss team and Bama the 3-loss team?
No, but
Yep.
I think SMU had 3 losses at that
Hold
point.
up.
Their third
Hold
loss
up. Let me
was in the
go ahead.
I think
I don't think SMU had the 3
I
losses.
thought SMU had one loss.
I thought they were. Yeah, I thought they were. I think they
they
were
had more than
11-1. We gonna have to look it up. SMU 2024. Let me look it up.
Oh, we can check on
Give
that.
me the line because I will lie. Not on purpose, Lord.
Yeah, I mean SMU had 3 losses. They were and 11-3.
But hold on. But they lost in the playoff though.
Hold on. Let me check their schedule.
Yeah,
They was
Oh yeah, they only lost 2 games last year. It was against BYU and in the championship game against Clemson. Then the third loss came in the first round
of the playoff. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it didn't hold it against. It didn't hold it. They didn't hold them
See,
against
this is my Alabama fan right here.
versus a 3-loss team. But if you have 3-loss teams, how do they look? How do they view the championship game? See, we don't want to talk about that.
But here's the thing. Texas is not going to see the championship game just like how Alabama did in last year. But the difference between Texas and Alabama this year is like Alabama had that crazy loss to Vandy. That crazy loss to Vandy. Even though they lost to Tennessee and Oklahoma, I think that still could have held them up if they didn't have that loss.
Vandy didn't look so bad because Vandy was a good team. The loss this year that looked crazy is Florida State.
No,
the name sounds.
I mean,
good,
with Alabama, with Alabama, that crazy loss this year is Florida State. But then when you look at Texas, the crazy loss came from Florida.
At the end of the day, when it happened, it looked crazy. But at the end of the day, Vandy straight, and that's all I care about. I don't care about where you was ranked when we played. At the end of the year, what were you? Because when we rank everybody, I mean, like you said, y'all got 9 or 10 teams ranked. You know what I'm saying? What were you at the end of the year? Like Vandy was a straight squad. Like, okay, Vandy was good. So that wasn't a bad loss for. I mean, it was a bad loss for you, Alabama fan, but for the SEC, for their reputation, that helps because you got other teams stepping up to the plate and showing that they, you know what I'm saying, are competitive. But that Florida State loss is a bad loss. And again, I wouldn't take Alabama over Tennessee. I'm sorry, Texas, if it happens that 3-loss teams are pitted against each other. But that's when you're gonna see the SEC kind of mount up and say we deserve a 15. This shouldn't be, Texas, blah blah blah. We played a rough schedule. But
I'll be honest,
if they have to pit those 2 teams against each other, like no, y'all ain't getting the 5th one. Or if y'all do, it's coming down to y'all 2. What's gonna happen?
I'm gonna pick Vandy over Texas. That's the thing. Even though Vandy did lose to Texas and Alabama this year, I would definitely put Vandy over Tennessee.
Oh yeah. I would go with Alabama as well. Vandy might get over there over them too, but it's
I
gonna be
mean,
interesting, man.
I don't think that they'll keep Alabama out. To be honest with you, I don't think that they'll keep them
Nah,
out.
not this year.
man, if they lose
Not
to
this year.
Auburn,
Not with that young boy slinging that rock.
Now, if they lose to Auburn and
they
they
lose to
lose to Auburn in
Auburn.
an
I mean,
embarrassing way, then we're gonna have to have a
Oh, yeah.
conversation.
That's yeah. They lose to Auburn. It might be it. Yeah, it might be.
that might be it for them. To be honest,
No.
I mean, but I just don't see them
That's how I
losing
look at
Auburn.
that. Yeah, no.
Oh, but that game is at Auburn this year, so that might be a little tricky though.
I mean, hey, everybody know it's hard to play in Jordan Hare.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
And I mean, like that's definitely going to be a night game too. That might be a little tricky. Might be a little tricky.
Lost in the conversation though is the ACC is still in the conversation of we just take L conference because you're going to have an ACC championship game and neither of those teams might get in. It will be Miami. The way they have it ranked.
Yeah, but the thing is, like Georgia Tech probably going to play Virginia, right? If that stands, right?
Yeah, because they did say it was supposed to be whoever won the ACC championship.
And I mean, both them teams is in the top 20. So I think the committee is setting you up for a factor of, like, I mean, let's say Tech lose to Georgia. I don't think they're going to drop Tech that much for losing to a team that's a top 5 team. I just don't think they're going to drop that. I think they're setting you up for that matchup between Virginia and Georgia Tech, and whoever wins that, they're gonna push them slightly above Miami. I'm telling you, like I can really see that happening.
No, they like I said earlier, they're setting up for some way somehow to put Miami in there. They're setting it up that way. And I feel bad because you do have two teams in Georgia Tech and Virginia who've been playing their butt offs who deserve to go to that ACC championship. But I do agree that the winner of that should be the main one being looked at. It shouldn't be Miami at this point. You lost against SMU. You sit over here and you legitimately lost to Louisville. You're really, if we're looking at the best win that they had, that was against Notre Dame. I don't care if they blew out NC State. NC State beat freaking Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
So I'm not caring about that. Yeah. Like, it should be given to whoever wins that championship game. Like, Miami had their opportunity. They fumbled it.
I mean, they still got to go up to Pitt the last game of the season and beat them too, though. So,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Go Pitt. Channel your Aaron Donald.
Because I mean, like going up to Pitt like the last game of the season when you know it's going to be cold and the miserable weather for kids from Miami. I mean, that's just going to be a little difficult.
They have a history of losing those games at Pitt too.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that they got to win out, and if they win out, then I guess we're going to see what happens.
I think a lot depends on what Pitt does this week as well.
They got
a big game, and I think if they don't win this game, I don't want to say they're going to pack it in, but a lot of pressure on this game this week. This is, like you said, the playoffs is pretty much starting for everybody this week, and for them in terms of the conference championship. If they don't win, they don't advance. So big week for them. Big week for them. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, I just don't see them beating Tech. I just don't see that. And I guess we're gonna see.
All right. My final question before we go ahead.
Who's playing Georgia Tech this week?
Pitt is.
Oh, they are playing Pitt. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought it was somebody else. Never mind.
And that game's at Georgia Tech too.
Oh, is that Georgia Tech?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
downtown gonna be.
Downtown
gonna be crazy. Oh, nah. But I just want to say this, Brick Key, and I noticed this with Kirby. When you have a game like what's about to happen, that's the determination or one of those little pain in somebody's butt. I think he's overthinking the situation. He literally said that he had the kids literally be in full pads at practice, and that he was going real hard for them to basically, I guess, get this win out against Pitt. And I have a feeling with that, you gonna overcoach yourself. And as a Georgia fan, I've seen Kirby do that so many times against Alabama. It's not even funny. But go ahead and ask your question. I just want to throw that out there.
Actually, I got two more for a do pick. Real quick thought. What are your thoughts on James Franklin to Virginia Tech? Because I told you I called it a while back.
I think it's
He's finna take all of them kids from Penn State.
yeah, I think it's a good move for him. It's was well within his footprint that he's been recruiting. Hopefully he'll have a staff in mind. Um, I thought he would have held out a little longer for maybe one of the more prestigious jobs, but maybe they weren't on his line like that. But I think this is a good job for him. I don't know how high the expectations will be for him immediately, but again, the ACC is kind of a wide open conference. The footprint is kind of expanding, and I think it's a good job for him. Now I ain't gonna lie, I may have collected a little bit more of that 49 million before I jumped back in there because it went from like 49, I think, to 9 million. But I guess he's been getting money, for a long time. It's nothing to a boss, but hey, yeah, I think it's a good look for him.
J Mick.
I mean, I've been saying this for the whole season, man. I don't think too highly of the guy, to be honest with you. Like, I don't trust him as a coach. So it's like, yeah, for Virginia Tech, it's a good get because Virginia Tech ain't really been Virginia Tech since like Beamer ball. And, we talking 10, 15 years ago. So I guess to build up a program to get the talent in there, he'll do that. But if they have hopes that hiring him is they're going to get to the national championship game, that's just not going to happen. I think he's a good recruiter. I don't think he's a good coach. That's just my opinion. And that's just something that I'm going to live and die by. And I mean, he's proven it at Penn State that he can recruit, but he's not a good coach. So, I mean, for them, it's a good get. I mean, it's going to get them recruits and it's going to get them to be a better program than what they've been because they've been kind of bad the last 5 years. So I think in terms of that aspect, like he'll bring them back to relevance, but it's that, and it's also I don't know what the ACC going to be in 5 years. So that's I mean like that's like a whole nother can of worms that I'm not really want to get into right now either. So,
They're about to be extinct.
I mean, I mean, he is on thin ice to be nice about it, real thin ice.
Okay. What's your thoughts on the DT?
So the final question before we get to the college football games, out of all the teams in this ranking, who has the most to prove the final weeks of the college football season?
The most to prove?
I'm always going to say Notre Dame. I'm always going to say that. But definitely between, in my honest opinion, definitely between Oregon and more than likely, I want to say Texas Tech because they're going to the Big 12 championship, and I think along with BYU, so they get an extra game and they get that rematch again against BYU. So they have a little bit, in my honest opinion, to prove because even though I know we say that the championship is not going to hurt, I feel like it's going to hurt with the Big 12 since we're coming down to which one is probably going to get 1 or 2 in. So that's why I'm kind of looking at it from there. And the only reason I say Oregon is because they got that loss against Indiana. Then they're playing USC this weekend. So USC can play spoiler. That's all I'm saying.
USC, they trying to backdoor their way into that the playoffs.
They number 15 for a reason. Look, they number 15 for a reason. So, and then they got the number 1 recruiting class coming into this upcoming 2026 season. So they can play upset. Oregon got to prove something.
I think you know what? I'm gonna go with the team you just was talking about from around your way. I'm gonna go with Georgia Tech. If they, if they really want it, they're gonna have to earn it. They got, like you said, Pitt this week, Georgia next week, and then they're gonna have to win that ACC championship game. So to me, they probably have one of the tougher paths, to get to secure their spot, and they're definitely on the outside. Well, not quite on the Well, yeah, they are on the inside looking out. But outside looking in, we don't know what's going on with the ACC. So I say they have the most to prove in these next couple of weeks, next 2 or 3 weeks.
Just putting this out there. Georgia Tech does have to play in a in the Mercedes-Benz Georgia second home. So
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go with E on this one. To me, it's that Oregon USC matchup. I think both teams got something to prove because I think the committee put USC in a position where if they were to win that game, because I think the game's at Oregon, if they were to go in Oregon and beat Oregon there, they're gonna put USC in the top 10. I feel
they
like.
really are.
And I feel like if Oregon wins, they're gonna kind of. I mean, like like they might go up maybe to 6. I don't think they're gonna put them past Texas Tech. I don't see that. But like, switching with Ole Miss, I mean something like that. So I mean, so I just think those two teams got something to prove because whoever comes out that game as the winner, their last game of the season, they're gonna be playing to win that last game and to get into the college football playoff. So I mean, those are the two teams that I'm primarily looking at this weekend for me.
I agree. I've been looking at this matchup for entirely the whole week. Lincoln Riley has a huge opportunity to beat some narratives about his USC team that he's been building for the past couple of years. This matchup, this is why he was brought over to USC to win games like Oregon. Now we also know from the Oregon standpoint, Oregon is, a powerhouse. They came in and won the Big Ten championship last year. This year, they're still looking for that key win. They had an opportunity against Indiana. They were able to pull that off. This is a huge game. Former Pac-12 teams now in the new look Big Ten. So whoever, like you said, whoever wins this game, you get an opportunity. You set yourself in place for the college football playoffs. You win your last game of the season, and then you get to see who you got to play and match up with. But I do think a little bit of the pressure will be on Oregon because, like we just said, we saw Alabama was as high as 4, and they dropped 6 spots. Oregon is at 7 right now, and this is a huge game for Oregon. And now I also will say, in terms of we're talking about matchup, this is kind of a bad matchup for USC as well when it comes to defending the run. But we also seen, the past couple of weeks, the second half adjustments they are able to make. Teams have scored 0 touchdowns and points in the second half when they make those second half adjustments. But this is going to be a different animal. We also know that Oregon is injured at the key wide receiver spot. The freshman Moore probably might be out. We'll see. He might be a game time decision this week. But I'm going to agree with E and J May. This Oregon USC game is going to be key to who's going to be one of those Big Ten teams that's trying to get in.
That can shake up. To be honest with you, even though we're talking about the ACC, the Big Ten is got to get looked at too, because you still have the Michigan Ohio State game. You still have that can go either way. With that, then you got this Oregon and SC game, and I think Indiana's not really playing any other top tier type. No. Yeah, so Indiana is looking like it's kind of licking their chops and probably cheering on Michigan at this point, because that will put them at the new number 1 spot. But then it will be figuring out who do they have to play in the Big Ten championship. But then even then, they can lose in that Big Ten championship. And then how can the committee weigh that? Because again, it's a lot of factors going on in the Big Ten too, even though we're focused on the ACC of what they got going on. Big Ten can have a shakeup these last 2 weeks, a huge shakeup.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the Hoosiers, they only got 1 more game left because they don't have a game this week. They're on a bye, and then the next week they got Purdue. They're not losing to Purdue. If they were to lose to Purdue, then something really bad happened in that game for them. I don't see them losing that game. So I think they're pretty secure. Chaos. Yeah. Purdue is just god awful. Purdue is 0-8 in the conference, 2-9 overall. I just don't see that happening.
Shout out to Mr. Tuggle over there from UGA. That's all I'm gonna throw out there. That's my shot for the day.
All right. With that being said, we're going to go ahead with the games of the week for college football. Let's go ahead and pick the USC versus Oregon matchup. Family, who we got winning this game?
I like chaos. Bring on the chaos.
Uh-oh.
What?
Uh-oh.
Let's go, Trojans.
Okay.
I like chaos.
Okay. C. Henry.
You know what? I almost want. I like chaos too, but I think I'm gonna go with my boy from the Detroit, man, the Detroit area, man, Dante Moore and Oregon in this game in a close game. This is a rivalry game for those guys, man. So
Bro,
Pac-12
they've
battle,
been talking. Yo, Twitter has been crazy,
Pac-12
bro.
battle. So
I got one friend that's a USC friend on Twitter, bro, and I just seen his timeline. Yo, it's diabolical. That is nasty, bro.
Yeah, man, I gotta go Oregon, man. The game's in Oregon. I mean, like USC does not defend the run, and Oregon was gonna run the football. So I just don't see it. And I mean, like if you look at the USC games when they go on the road and they go, I mean, towards the east. Obviously, like Oregon is not completely on the east, but it's still headed that way. Whenever they put on the road, they have gotten gashed in the run game by every Big Ten team that they played. So I just don't believe in that run defense at all, personally. So.
Yeah. I'm rooting for USC, but for the second straight week, I think it's a bad matchup. I feel like they were able to get away against Iowa based on their athleticism and their ability to make some plays when it really mattered. I just see this as a bad matchup when it comes to USC's run defense. Oregon is number one in the country in yards per carry, and they also have the number one ranked pass defense as well. I I want USC to win because I think it'll be good for the sport for USC to be back to prominence. Because I know from a lot of people I've talked to, a lot of people see them as a second tier program as of right now. But I just think in terms of the matchup, I just see Oregon coming away, even though they have some injuries at the other skill position. So I got Oregon coming out on top, beating USC this week. And the other game we have is Missouri taking on Oklahoma in Norman at noon. Oklahoma coming off that huge victory at Tuscaloosa. They're also in the chase for the playoff spot. Depending on the ranking, that Oklahoma defense is absolutely good. Absolutely good. John Mateer, his legs is definitely a weapon in the run game and improvising. It's going to be an interesting matchup. I think I'm going to take Oklahoma. I think they're going to try to get their offensive tune up because one thing we have seen for all that's been watching them play, their offense, they kind of have some ups and downs, especially in the passing game. I think they'll try to get some things trying to tune up heading into the playoff race. So I'm going to take Oklahoma.
I'm with you, DT. I think it's going to be a nice game. Missouri's going to tough out, man. Tough out this year. But I'm going with Oklahoma in this game, man. Again, like you said, that defense is tough. Mateer looks to be, over his injury a little bit. Like to see him do a little bit more with his arm, but in this tough game at home, Oklahoma.
It's cold in Norman.
It's cold up there?
It's cold in Norman, but Missouri's used to it. Go ahead, J. Mick.
Yeah, I was going
You
to
already
say,
know who I'm going with.
yeah, it's cold in both places. I just think OU got the big win last week to revive their CFP playoff hopes. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think they're going to fumble it away in, less than a week. I just don't see it. I mean, their schedule, like they got to play Mizzou this week and then they got to play the Tigers next week, LSU. So this is their chance to prove that they belong in the playoff. And I just think they're going to come away in this game with the W. So
If I'm not mistaken, that LSU game, that's a home game for Oklahoma, right?
yeah,
I think
I believe
I
so.
think
Yeah.
so.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, they're going to go 10-2.
Yes, I mean they kind of have to, because if they lose another game, that's going to be it for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sooner Nation. Boomer.
All right, that was the
You've been
college
boomer
football
sooner in the
update
last
for
couple of
you.
weeks. You've been boomer sooner in the last couple of weeks.
Hey, look. My dad was stationed in Oklahoma. I had a choice. It was either watch Oklahoma State or watch the Cowboys.
I guess you
And watch
chose.
the Sooners.
Crazy
I mean, if
fact,
you had
my brother's an Oklahoma fan.
and then plus I like Bob Stoops too. Bob Stoops was a very, very, very good coach. Very good coach. So
All right, people, to the NFL. We are doing the Week 11 fraud alert. So, guys, we have Detroit Lions, we have the Chargers, and we have Kansas City. Who is on fraud alert in Week 11? Now, before y'all answer, I put a comment out on Sunday after I watched Kansas City lost against Denver, and that's a good Denver team. And the backlash I received from my take was absolutely insane. From people who weren't even watching Kansas City when they had doggone Matt Castle at quarterback. This Kansas City team is 5-5 currently. They're third in their own division with Denver and also the Chargers, which we're going to be discussing about. They're currently in that bubble with Houston, who plays in a couple minutes, and Baltimore Ravens, who just got Lamar Jackson back. And when you see Lamar Jackson and their schedule sets them up to get some wins to get themselves find a way into the playoffs. And then Kansas City, they lost to Jacksonville, who's second in their division, got the 7th spot. They lost to Buffalo. I mean, this is if there's any year that's going to be some challenges for Kansas City to get in the playoffs, not just win a Super Bowl, but get in the playoffs. Like, those are words we probably never would have uttered with the Kansas City. But this Kansas City team, the offense is statistically ranked top 5, defense ranked top 5, but they just haven't come up with those wins. So what do y'all think about Kansas City right now and their playoff chances?
Man, you said a mouthful, man. Offense top 5, defense top 5. Hell, they beat us, but they 5-5. I don't know. I'm perplexed. I'm perplexed. I don't know. I mean, I saw Mahomes he started the season off. He was looking like vintage Mahomes. I look at the pieces that he's working with. I feel like these are the best pieces that he's had skill-wise since he had Tyreek. You know what I'm saying? Since he had Tyreek. Defensively, he's got a defense. So I don't know what the disconnect is, why they aren't winning games. This week is going to be a huge, huge week. I mean, every week for them going forward is going to be a huge, huge week. But I don't know, man. And it is crazy because normally you can look to injuries, or you can look to malcontents, or you can look to some guys who are just not performing. But besides the run game, I don't know what the problem is in KC. I'm at a loss for words myself.
So what I'll say is, and you can take this walk with me real quick. So the Bills are the 5 seed. They lost to the Bills. The Chargers are the 6 seed. They lost to the Chargers. They get to play one more time.
The Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The 7 seed is the Jaguars. They lost to them too. The 8 seed is the Texans. They have to play them in a couple weeks. And then you have the Chiefs at 9. Almost every team in front of them they have already lost to. You know, I mean, the one exception is the Baltimore Ravens and the 10 seed with the same record. But everybody else they done lost to. They 5-5. I said it last week. They didn't beat the Broncos. That division was over. And to me, it's over. Like they're not winning that division. So Denver probably gonna win that division. They lose to the Colts this week, man. Like they gotta be viewed as frauds because they lose to the Colts this week. The chances are they're not gonna make the playoffs, so they gotta win. And yeah, I mean, like the great thing about those stats is like they what I mean, like they're top 5 in points, top 7 in points allowed. But the one stat to me that rings out that's different from last year is like their record in 1-score games. They have not won a game that was a 1-score game. 0-5 this year in 1-score games versus last year. I think they were like what 10-1 or some crazy.
I think they said 11-0. I think I heard they were 11-0.
Yeah, something like that last year. So just it goes to show you that. I mean, from a production standpoint, the offense and defense is better than last year, but they're just not winning the close games, and that's just kind of, I mean, like that's kind of how the NFL can be sometimes.
Do you guys think that it's more so having to do with all like the moving pieces that they have, like, kind of losing certain people, gaining certain people, but just not being able to have that, I guess you could say, that continuity that they've been used to when it comes down to that? Because we have seen in certain games where it seemed like they're like, certain people making small mistakes, boneheaded moves, but it also just see that they're just not, I just, like a team that's playing together as a team.
I think that has some to do with that to an extent, because when you have guys out and you're playing with different guys every week, it's hard. The NFL is all about continuity. When you got to have guys that are able to play, and of course you're going to have injuries and stuff. You're going to have the guys that plug in and fill in for those spots. That's just the reality. But I think for Kansas City, what will help them extremely is like, and C. Henry mentioned it, I think their run game will really help if it was more dynamic enough. Like when we seen the teams with Kansas City when they had a younger Kareem Hunt, he over there looking like he going to 7-Eleven every carry he get.
Yeah.
When they had like a Damian Williams, a guy that can go 0 to 60 and get a touch. I don't see that. I mean, I see the young kid Brashard Smith. They use him kind of in that gadget role, slip screens, bubbles, motion around. But I think having Patrick Mahomes as your leading rusher, that should not be ideal for a Kansas City team. And Pacheco has been battling injuries for the past couple of years. Kareem Hunt, they brought him back. He's more of a short yardage guy. Like, they have to get something that can help them in these games. But I also think some of the mistakes as well, like drops, timely interceptions, that stuff just happened. Like when we talk about them being like good in 1-score games last year, they had that stuff come their way. And this year is not coming their way this year. And especially these key games that they lost. They lost a close one to the Chargers week 1. They lost a close one literally this week to Denver. And they literally lost a close one to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Those 3 key games in those spots for those guys. And I think that's also hurting them as well.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't them actually running the football, I remember Jarrett McKinnon being a key partner in their short passing game. It's like they have to really, really kind of labor for a lot of things. I mean, they kind of dink and dunk all the way down the field, and it's effective. But when they get behind or they need a chunk play, they just haven't really gotten those plays consistently. And I think that, we've got to give the other teams some credit, a little bit of credit as well. I mean, this is the Chiefs. They are a dynasty, you know what I mean? And a lot of other teams are giving them their best shot. You know what I'm saying? They're preparing for them. They don't want to be embarrassed. You know what I mean? And they're giving them the best shot. So it's crazy. It's kind of perplexing because we don't normally see teams that are statistically doing as well as they are having the struggles that they are. So yeah, man, fraudulent.
I mean, hey, every good team got, has to come down and have that humble experience where they can figure out exactly how they can get back to it. And this just might be the year the Chiefs just have that humbling experience, and next thing we know, we'll see them back to it. I mean, It's just one. I'm like, I'm not gonna call them a Friday just yet. Because they can turn it around, even though they might not make it to the playoffs, but they can still end the season on a good note to take that momentum into the next season and hopefully, shore up some of the pieces like the run game, add a couple of more pieces on defense and everything like that. Mahomes he's already hardened himself, so he's probably literally going to be in the film room over the off season trying to figure out how to make better. So I'm not going to say that they're a completely a fraud, but again, I do agree if they do lose to the Colts, that's it for them. There's a coming back, but there's no coming back from that because that KC that Denver game was a must win. From this one is you definitely have to win this one, and that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure on the team knowing where they kind of stand and what they got to do to kind of move forward. So I'm not gonna say them just yet, though. We'll have that discussion after Thanksgiving. But other than that, yeah, I'm not gonna say that. I know Jay Mick is kind of over there rubbing his fingers together like Birdman.
Well, you already know what it is. But I mean, like that. I mean, that just comes from the year they compare themselves to me. So I mean, of course, I'm gonna hope on your downfall. That's just it is. It does. That's just the way it goes.
Jay Mick is on his hating spree.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hating on the Chiefs, and I'm definitely gonna hate on the Bills tonight. So yeah, for sure.
All right. The next team on the fraud watch, we have the Chargers. Now, I actually got a chance to watch a little bit of that Chargers game, and they did not look like the Chargers, in terms of like how their style of play. I understand injuries. Offensive line has definitely been banged up. Running back has been banged up. I believe the Marion Hampton, we haven't seen him in almost like a
6
month.
weeks. Seem like
6 weeks.
So
more than Sunday since we've seen that young man.
But surprisingly, they are still
somehow in the playoff hunt.
Somehow in the playoff hunt. Like, are they off fraud aware? Because they have an opportunity to have a couple of losses on their schedule. Well, if they don't get things situated.
Man, listen, man, I'm gonna go ahead and jump in here, man, because listen here, man. I've been hearing so many things for so many years about this guy, Justin Herbert, and all this other stuff, man.
Oh, God.
And I just happen to have him on my fantasy football team, man. And let me tell you something, man. The last 2 weeks, man, has been ass 9. You understand me? Ass 9. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on. They lost the 2 tackles, and it's just like they lost everything. Quentin Johnson. I mean, hello, APB. We got you on the milk carton right now, man. 2 of the last 3 weeks, you done gave me absolutely nothing. 0. 86% route participation, but you just out there running cardio. Now, let me tell you something, man. Hey, I don't know what's going over there, but Jimmy, you better get it together, man. Because listen, we just talked about Kansas City. They in the Downs little situation. I don't quite believe in Bo. But listen, they getting it done, and y'all about to drop the bag. Y'all about to fumble the bag. Defense playing.
They always fumble the bag.
But man, y'all about to fumble the bag, man. And listen, man, Herbert, man, listen, all the praise that you get. He won one playoff game, right? So far, one playoff game, or is it no playoff game?
Nah, he ain't won no playoff game.
He ain't won a playoff game.
He won 2.
So you mean tell me so we should
be giving them too much credit?
Yeah, we should be talking about him in the same vein that we talk about Dak, but lower, because Dak at least give you MVP style seasons. Man, Herbert, man, listen, man. I'm not gonna say, man. He got me about to call him out his name because he didn't really hurt my feelings on this fantasy team. I'm in a dog fight now. I was running from the pack. Now I'm in a dog fight, man. Listen, man.
It be like that.
Yeah, for real.
I want to say the B word, the scrum, but I'm gonna just leave it alone. But you need to do something. I took off my hat without no haircut. You need to do something. It's serious. You need to do something. I didn't expose my bad lineup. You need to do something, Mr. Herbert. You need to do something.
Look.
You do something, man. God damn.
Lord. I'm just gonna say this. Jim Harbaugh. I know Jim Harbaugh was brought over there for a reason, and particularly and so to help Herbert get over that hump to get into the playoffs and everything. I'm just gonna say it like this: if Big Bad Jim Harbaugh can't get Herbert to going somewhere, I don't think it's the coach. I don't think the Chargers need to fire another coach. It's at this point, and we're at the question. We need to start questioning Herbert. And then now when we're talking about fraud, I'm not gonna say the whole Charger team is a fraud. I'm gonna look at that QB spot because now we're getting to the point to where we got to really start asking questions. Because I'm just saying, if Harbaugh cannot get Herbert where they need to be, and particularly they hired that man particularly for him and to get that team turned around, team look good. I know they was missing Khalil Mack majority of the season because he got injured, and I know they kind of fixed the wide receiver spot. Shout out to Lat McConkey, but at the same token, we're looking like C. Henry said, we're looking at Herbert. We gonna have to probably have that conversation, man. If he fumbles the bag in this AFC West, especially when you got the Chiefs down at this point, and you fumble this bag, we're gonna have to have a serious conversation about that QB spot over there in LA.
Look, I mean, sometimes you just gotta call a spade, man. I mean, yeah, they're in the playoffs, they're 7-4. I mean, but they're fraud. I can't they're fraud. It's not their fault. For me, they're more of a fraud because of injuries. I mean, like if you watched the Chargers game last weekend, you saw the offensive line that they was trotting out there. I'm not sure how many people could be successful as I'm not just talking about Herbert as a team with that offensive line that they was trotting out there last week. And I get it, it's the NFL and you're supposed to build depth, but when your starting two tackles is out and then your swing tackle, he's also out. And so now you're down to the fourth and fifth tackle. You're missing guards or whatever. Like that's just a hard situation. So they're frauds, yeah. But for me, it's by circumstance. I mean, like the defense is holding together as much as they can, but at some point you got to score. Like this is a quarterback league, so you got to score points. And so last week, they got their ass kicked against the Jaguars because they couldn't score. So yeah, to me, they're fraudulent. To me, they'll be lucky to make the playoffs, unless something changes. But they didn't make any trades at the deadline to shore up the tackle position. And so this is probably what you're going to get. Like you're going to get one good week and a bad week, one good week and a bad week. So I don't know if that's enough for them to stay in the spot that they're in.
All right, I got you.
That ain't helping C. Henry's fantasy. Just saying that.
Listen, man. I'm gonna have to sit that boy down. Both of them. QJ too.
Oh my God.
And you should have cut his ass a long time ago, man. I'm not sure to tell you about that one.
We're trying to hold on. We're trying to just hold on for dear life. If I still got him, you know what type of shape I'm in, man. And you got to get 0 with 86% route participation.
Yeah, I mean, the second you give me 0 points, man, I'm going to cut you from my fantasy team, man. I'm done with that.
Hey, man, let them know. Let them know. Man, hey, listen, man, I'm out here running routes, bro. I'm open, bro. Look for me. I'm open. We ain't doing nothing. Look for me.
All right, so the last team is interesting. So, C. Henry has Detroit in the category of the topic on fraud alerts. So, can you care to explain that reasoning?
Listen, man. A lot of people, man, on my timeline, man, with a lot of opinions on the Lions, and that's okay, man, because I ain't never really been one. You know what I'm saying? I really care about other things, what other people think. But I think it's key, though. I think it's key, and it's worth talking about at this point. 6-4 at this point. Currently out of the playoffs in the NFC. Currently, I think, third in the NFC North. Not quite what we thought we were going to be at this point. But with that being said, man, is it fair to put us on fraud alert? You know what I mean? Who have we beat? Some of these teams that we talking about, Kansas City, we have an L on our resume right now from them. We have an L on our resume from Minnesota who was kind of mid. You know what I mean? Green Bay is a decent team, and they handled us in round one. So a lot of folks are saying that, you know what I'm saying, we could be frauds as well. And I still believe, let me just put that out there. I still believe, but we got some work to do. And I just wanted to know what you guys thought, you know what I'm saying? Get the, you know what I'm saying, the opinions of the people.
I'm not gonna say that because well, one, I know Dan Campbell took back the play calling. He took back the play calling with that and started running those play calls for y'all. But here's where I have with Detroit. I'm not gonna say that Detroit is frauds in that. I just think that the games that they could have won is not being out coached. It's just kind of being outplayed in the situation. Y'all go down, y'all can run the ball, y'all can pass the ball. Defense is good. But like you said, the Packers just was able to get a hold of you. Even with this last game with Philly, we were talking about Philly earlier this season. They were having their inconsistent moments. You just met a Philly team that just kind of decided, hey, we're going against Detroit. We know what this comes down to, and they just went into the trenches and fought a good battle. So when we're looking at things like that, I'm not going to say that they're fraud. I'm just going to say, like, hey, sometimes you have teams that just go out there, they give their hardest, and they just get outplayed. It happens.
So
It's the NFL. I'm not going to consider it a fraud, though.
I ain't gonna lie to you, E. I'm gonna slightly push back on the Philly game. Not the fraudulent thing. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? On the Philly game itself, I felt like, when we look at different facets of the game, you're not gonna dominate a team or be better than your opponent in every facet. I felt like besides the trenches, which is very important. Don't let me, minimize it. But besides the trenches, I didn't feel outclassed in that game. I didn't feel like, personnel wise, we were dominant. I mean, we were dominated. And to your point, you said you didn't feel like we were outcoached. I feel like we were absolutely outcoached in that game. And I think that, and I think I've said it on here before, I think we get the Dan Campbell special, as I call it. The Dan Campbell specials at least once or twice a year where he overthinks it. He overthinks it, man. And I think actually this time he overthought it too much. And I think it was a detriment that he was the play caller. You know what I mean? And I say that because a lot of times in the first 2 or 3 years when he was on, he was the head coach. He had this mentality of being aggressive. And you guys see it, be aggressive, be aggressive. We got to score 30 points. We got to score 30. We get in these big matchups. And I agreed with him because the first 2 or 3 years of, his tenure, our defense wasn't up to par. But now our defense is playing great football, even with guys that we don't even know their names on the back end. We're playing great football. So this whole point of being aggressive, we got to score points, to me, is really a backhanded disrespect to your defense. Why we got to score 30 points when your defense is balling? Why are we pushing so much to score these points and pushing, going for it on fourth down I don't know if you came in with this game with a preconceived notion that we got to score 25, 30 points to beat this team, but now we're here. Now we're 1 quarter in. Now we're, 18 minutes, a quarter and a half in, and we see we're in a slugfest. Points are at a premium. You see what I'm saying? Take some points sometimes. I've said that many times. Why are we going the fake punt? I thought we was done with the fake punt. We ran that so much the first 3 years. I thought that had been out of the playbook. I didn't see it last year no more. I thought we was good and done with that. But we can't run the ball against their offensive line and our base offense. We set up a punt. They lead their base defense in. They ready for the fake punt. They lead their base defense in. Why are we trying to run the ball against their base defense with linebackers, running backs, and somebody else on the punt team? And then he tells me, well, that's the look we wanted. Okay, Dan, that's the look we wanted, huh? Well, why you ain't sending them people in on first down? And if that's the look we wanted, why you ain't sending them on first down? Then? You see what I'm saying? And then we get into this spiral. Once we don't get it once or twice, he got to keep going for it because in his mind, he's behind the sticks. But it's a 25-point game. I've never heard of you going 0 for 5 on fourth down. In the point total of the entire game is 25 points. So I'm gonna wrap my sequelae up right here. We got to get better. I don't think we fraud. We got to get better, and it's just not the players; it's the coaches. Dan and them got to get better. I expected a little bit of a step back. 2 coordinator changes, interior O-line change. We replaced them with a rookie and a second-year, 5th-round pick. Definitely going to be a step back, but we got to get it together. We still got the rest of the season. But I'm gonna let y'all have it.
So normally I would say that the Lions is fraudulent, but I have to look at the division first. And when I look at the division, the Bears are on top. But if you look at the Bears' remaining games, I don't think there's any way they're going to stay on top. I mean, I'll just read these games. They got the Steelers. They're at the Eagles, at the Packers.
Browns. Got played the Lions twice.
Yeah, Packers again. Yeah. At the 49ers and the Lions. I only see 3 more wins in their future. That's all I see. Maybe 4. Maybe 4 if they're lucky to catch the Packers. Maybe. I don't know. And then I look at the Packers schedule where like the Packers are only like technically like I think they're like a half a game above the Lions because of the whole tie situation. I mean, like they still got to play the Vikings twice, and they got to play the Lions. They got to play the Bears twice, the Ravens and the Broncos. So it's just like when I'm reading them schedules off, like I said, normally I would say the Lions are fraudulent, but the teams in front of them got hard schedules. So as long as the Lions could pull it together and start winning games, I think they can find themselves back in first pretty quickly. So I'm not going to push the fraudulent button right now. But in 2 weeks' time, if they keep losing the way they are, I'm going to have to call the cards.
You say check back in 2 weeks, check back in 2 weeks.
I mean, so I'm going to give them boys a chance.
Yeah, we got the Giants and then Green Bay, and on Thanksgiving, that's gonna tell the story. The Giants and Green Bay, that's gonna tell the story.
Okay, yeah. So I actually agree with J. Mick. Y'all division is one of the best in the league, and of course, you know Minnesota is dealing with some stuff. Young quarterback and trying to get some stuff away, but
you can't get right.
The Packers and the Bears, they still have some tough games ahead. And you know, it could be a way, you know, some things could fall your way. And now I do like Kevin Shepard as defensive coordinator. I think he's got that unit playing far beyond what we have probably seen. Of course, Dan Campbell's now calling the plays. Still putting on some points, but probably going to take a little bit to get some things going away. But I still have confidence in not Buffalo Bill. I still have confidence. I was watching the game. I still have confidence in Detroit. I think some games could fall between the Packers and the Bears, and you know those head-to-head matchups are going to matter. And then you do get the Packers at home down the stretch, so that's going to be a big key game as well. So I'm not going to put the Lions on fraud alert. I think things are going to go their way and they can get some things fixed up.
Yeah.
Oh, he just missed the extra point. Ain't that some shit?
All right, let's try to get out of here, man. We got the Week 12 games for the NFL. The first matchup will be the Colts taking on Kansas City. That's going to be a 1:00 kick.
Ooh, high noon, but I got faith in Andy. I got faith. I got faith in Andy. I got faith that he can hopefully turn around. So,
because I mean, the Chiefs fans do not.
I know. But look, they didn't already. They kind of But I'm gonna go with KC. I'm gonna go with KC. Go KC. I feel like they're gonna turn it around. The run game may not turn around, but I feel like everything else will turn around.
I'm gonna tell you, I hate to be, you know what I'm saying, one of the ones that's trying to throw some of the dirt on KC, but I'm gonna tell you, every time this Indianapolis team shows up, man, they've shown well. They played well. Defense has played well. Sauce Gardner's got another week to get adjusted. It's hard to believe in Daniel Jones, man, and I can't believe I'm saying this, man, but I'm gonna see. I think Indy wins this game. Man. Wouldn't surprise me if Kansas City won, but I think Indy wins this game.
I mean, the interesting thing is, like, if you look at the trends, like, the Colts have played the Chiefs really tough the last, like, 3-4 years. Like, I think they've won all the matchups the last 3 years. Something crazy like that. So they played them well.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Colts. I mean, I heard that Daniel Jones got on the injury report today with some kind of calf situation.
Oh no, there you go. Dropping nuggets.
I'm just giving you the facts, man. I'm not the one that injured his calf. I'm giving it to you. So, so for me, I'm picking the Colts. But if Daniel Jones don't play, there's no way in hell that I'm picking the Colts. But I mean, for right now, if Daniel Jones is going to play, then I'm gonna pick the Colts. And I just think the Colts are gonna have a hard time shutting down JT. I mean, like JT been on a tear. They're coming off a bye week, so I mean they're well rested coming into this game. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for the Chiefs. And then the Chiefs have come off a hard, like last couple of games. So I just don't like the prospects of that personally. So I'm gonna go with the Colts.
Yeah. This game is at Kansas City, 1:00 kick. I do love this Colts team. I like the way it's set up. Running football, solid skill position, Tyler Warner tight end, O-line blocks. Their defense can get after it, can make some plays. This is we talk about these college football games with must win status. This is definitely must win for Kansas City if they have any hope. But I'm gonna have hate watch in my heart because some of the comments I seen Sunday when I made the post about Kansas City was nasty. But I'm gonna lean with Kansas City on this one. I think it's gonna be a close game. Give me Kansas City by 3.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
All right. The next game we have will be Tampa Bay taking on the Los Angeles Rams. Tampa Bay is 6-4. Rams are 8-2.
Give me the Rams. I ain't got nothing to say. Just give me the Rams.
The Rams playing some damn good football, man. These 2 teams that I thought were going to be a problem in the NFC, and they are. I didn't foresee a MVP type year from Stafford, but I'm gonna tell you, the Rams playing some good football, man. Defense playing well as well. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams in this one as well.
Yeah, I just think the Bucs is in a bad place. They're just way too injured, and I mean, the only chance I give them is if Bucky comes back, if Bucky and Godwin comes back. But if them 2 don't play, I mean, I got to go with the Rams. I mean, like the Rams are playing really well right now. So
yeah, I'm taking the Rams. I think the Rams have looked outstanding defensively, offensively. Matthew Stafford's playing at an MVP level. They got some dogs on defense, and they playing high ball. And Tampa Bay, the injuries have really sucked, especially. I know they're still getting some run game out of Sean Tucker, but you still want to see Bucky Irvin to add to that room, not only in the run game but in the receiving game, what he can do, screen game wise. I'm just gonna go with the Rams to head to 9-2, which brings up the question because the NFC South, the next team we have is Carolina Panthers. Also,
LeBron now.
They got a big game Monday night taking on the 49ers. It's a little bit of a homecoming too because Bryce Young's heading home to California, his home state.
And he finna go home sad too because San Francisco 49ers is still not that team to play with.
What we think?
You not happy for LeBron now?
No.
Oh man,
I'm just saying, man. Listen, man, Dowdell, T-Mac. Listen, now they're on another team of mine. They doing pretty good on that team, so I just need them to keep this up. I think this is gonna be an exciting game, man. And listen, I think we're gonna make some money off this game. So I got a couple things for you. I got an anytime touchdown from McCaffrey for sure.
Okay.
And I got an anytime touchdown from Mr. Dowdell himself, man. And I think my man Bryce, he has, you know what I'm saying, he's kind of, hopefully turn that corner. And T-Mac, I think, is like 6th in the league in receiving right now. So I got 40 yards, man. 40 yards receiving for T-Mac in this game. But with all that being said, I think they lose to San Francisco by less than 7 points, which is that spread. So if y'all want to add that, you know what I'm saying, jump on that. But yeah, I think San Fran win this game.
Yeah, I mean, San Fran's a really good team historically on Monday Night Football. And then I just think they're starting to get healthy. I mean, like if you watched that game last week, you seen Brock Purdy is getting back to form. He had a really good game last week, really efficient. Didn't really, I think he threw for 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. I don't believe that he threw a pick at all. So he's turning back into form. You know, CMC is CMC, Kittle is Kittle. The only dude they're missing is, Brandon Ayuk. And I just don't know if the Panthers have enough firepower to keep up with the Niners. So I'm going to go with the Niners.
Y'all already, I don't know why you're waiting on me. Y'all already know who I'm going for.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take the 49ers in this one. I'm gonna take 49ers. It's kind of interesting though. I did not realize the Panthers were at 6 wins. So is the streak for the NFC South gonna break at some point? I mean, maybe unless Tampa Bay get healthy a little bit, but did not expect Panthers to be at 6 wins at this mark.
Listen, my man, we're not talking about him enough, but 6-5, and Bryce ain't played the best. So I don't know what type of magic that coach is over there sprinkling. What type of pixie dust he over there sprinkling on them boys? But they looking all right. They looking all right. You know what I'm saying? Got my girl E looking kind of sad over there. So they doing something right over there.
I'm not. The only reason I'm sad is because I gotta watch Kirk Cousins for the rest of the damn season.
Kirko.
I mean, what I say about the Panthers and the Bucks is that they ain't played each other yet, so they still got 2 matchups to go. So
Kirko gonna be all right. Kirko gonna be. Is Raheem gonna make it? I know this bonus, y'all. Y'all got bonus action tonight.
I actually was gonna ask, like, but what's the temperature on Raheem Morris?
That boy, that it's boiling. It's been boiling since last year.
Damn,
it's boiling. It's been boiling since last year. And this year.
Rams got a top 10 pick, by the way.
How long can you boil before you totally cook?
At this point, I think we totally cooked, because as soon as Penix went down and they said it's a full reconstruction, so he tore the ACL in his other leg, we cooked at this point.
Well, this should be ready for next season.
Hey, y'all heard what I said?
What?
Rams got a top 10 pick, by the way.
Yeah, they talking about that boy might be. They talking about that boy might be number 2, number 3, number 2, and number 3. They might get the successor. They might get the Dante Moore.
Y'all are nasty individuals, man.
Hey, at this point, you'll have some fans that are upset about missing it, but you'll have some fans that are gonna sit over here and say that JJ was worth it. So, like I said, I can't blow hot air on things I can't control.
We asking about Raheem, but we gotta ask about Terry too, though. Because Terry done put this.
I'll be honest with you. He had a great draft, but if Arthur Blank want to start from the top down, he gone too.
Damn.
Yep, we in hell over here.
My homies.
Y'all hilarious.
Y'all terrible. I'm watching the game. They run the ball down the whole field, get to the goal line, and then they start running the football. Like, what kind of sense does that make? Like, come on now.
I mean, as my Falcons fans, we know that all too well.
Jeez.
Yeah, man. These don't even go line back no more, man. Jesus, man. How's your man? Jeez. Well, that's okay. They're gonna get it together. They're gonna get it together.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
I mean, it's not sooner than it's gonna be later, but I mean, it's
Hey, look, man, that's all we got for y'all tonight, man. We know you guys are trying to tune in to the Texans and the Bills game. We're gonna wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving from the Enter the Lab podcast family. Hope you guys.
What's that Adrian Bonner gives? Type of man, I'm getting cooked. That's how I feel right now.
That's a great meme right there. That's one of the best.
We hope y'all have a great Thanksgiving next week. Hope y'all travel safe to y'all families and friends. Enjoy y'all time. Also get to watch some Thanksgiving football as well, and get ready for Black Friday. It's also a Black Friday game next Friday.
Hold on. Some of us ain't participating in Black Friday. Hello, wake up, y'all. Stay woke. No,
I mean, I'm participating going to this game to watch Georgia get another W. So that's me.
Okay.
Hey man, that's all we got for y'all tonight, man. It's your boy DT, Lady E. So sorry for Penix, bro.
For real.
J Mick, hate watching.
Oh yeah,
C Henry. Got y'all. We got y'all in the family. We'll see you guys after Thanksgiving break to discuss more about the college football slate and the NFL slate as we're getting very close to playoff time. We'll catch you guys next time. Yes, most definitely. Have a playing fun.